the video.
I also sent what her current outstanding balance is.
You put the 208-529-13.
Okay.
Just like, okay, let me transfer you over to this one so I can help you just a second.
Background noise.
You guys will ready for 11?
Dolores, you need to unmute.
How's that?
That's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Well, first of all, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. Really appreciate it. I'm Dolores, my husband, Paul. I don't know if you can see him.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a little problem we hope you can help us with. We recently received a notice about an assessment, and one was dated June 1st, one was dated June 3rd. And the way they read, it led us to believe that we should be waiting for an additional tax statement. We did pay our first half before the end of the year last year, and we do have we have the second half stub, which I wasn't aware that we had until we had it. But at any rate, I had paid the first half downtown in person, and that's the reason that we didn't. I still have this second half connected to the first. I do have a receipt for the first payment, and that was, I just went down there because we had some questions and I didn't have the paperwork with me, but I wanted to pay it. So we paid it, put the paperwork away, then we got a notice saying that we are delinquent with interest of $215 and fees of $5606. So we're confused because at the same time that second half was due, we got these assessment notices saying it's not a bill, which led us to believe we'd have another bill coming. So what we're hoping we can do is have you waive the interest and the penalty fees, and we'll pay, immediately the second half.
How long have you lived in your home?
This is only our second year. Brand new house.
Have you lived in Bonneville County before?
Yes.
Okay, so you have got other tax notices and.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, we're not disputing that by any means. It's just the timing of these assessment notices and the fact that it is a new home and our assessment has changed twice since we've been here. So we were pretty much expecting a new bill, which obviously we haven't received, but.
Well, unfortunately, they're two separate processes. They do probably, what was confusing is the treasurer has tried to let people know ahead of time, and it sounds like that notice that, tell me the letter you sent out, Mark, letting them know that they're delinquent.
Right, so we sent it all delinquent after the June 20th payment. We wait a while for the payments to come in, and then we send out a notice to all those parcels that have delinquent taxes. And just as a courtesy. So the assessor's office, every year, the end of May, the beginning of June, they'll send out their assessment notice. So that's right, it isn't a bill. That's for the value that they anticipate for the current year, this time being 2020. They send that out every year. And then every year in November, then they'll send out the tax notice with the 2 stubs. This is just standard procedure.
Right, but the thing that was so confusing and, you know, that we're curious about is, first of all, we got one on June 1st for a value of 414,000, and then one June 3rd for a value of 414 or 443. Anyway, these values changed within 2 days. We got notices with different amounts on them. And it was right at the time the second half was due. So we have been anticipating an adjusted bill of some sort.
Right.
And I mean, we want to pay the second half as soon as possible. We just would really appreciate having the interest and fees waived, and the fact that it was pretty confusing date-wise and everything.
Again, just to be clear, those are from the assessor's office to state a value. Why they sent out 2 notices, you'd have to talk to them. I don't know. This happens every year. Every year they'll send out a notice regarding the value. And it'll say it's not a bill because it isn't. And that a bill to pay the taxes will be forthcoming, which is true. That happens in November.
Right.
So you'll have to talk to the assessor's office why they sent you 2 different values. But that's separate and apart from the tax notice.
Right. Yeah, I realize that.
Yes, in December and June, those payments happens every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I say, in the fact that we've only been here, this is our second year, and there is a discrepancy in the amounts and the timing was off. We'd really appreciate waiving that interest and fees.
Well, and I think we can understand your concern. However, you know, the law establishes deadlines and dates for payments. We only, let's see, you're in South Point?
Correct.
So inside the city of Idaho Falls. And
Right.
approximately less than 25% of the property taxes and penalty and interest that we collect by statute comes to the county. The rest, about a half of the balance, so the rest goes to the city of Idaho Falls and half goes to schools. You know, and they've already got that budgeted for. So, you know, they tie our hands a little bit if it's an error on our part, for example, you know, which it doesn't appear here because you did get the notice, evidenced by the fact that you paid the first half, I think, on.
Right. As I say, and I didn't have the paperwork with me when I paid it downtown. And the receipt indicates that because it's, you know, it's a full page receipt. So
Yeah.
I didn't really have that second half, and really, as I say, it got confused in the fact that we got the assessment notices at the same time this was due. So.
Yeah. Dave? You're muted.
Hello?
Dave, you're still muted.
But that's
You're not
on your
coming.
side.
You're still
Can
muted.
you hear me?
No. I can't hear. Can you guys?
Can't hear.
You're still muted.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you,
It
but
must be on Rogers. Yeah, why it's meeting. Sorry, I comment to Zoom. I've unmuted every button, but I'm not able.
Not catching any of that.
Not very much.
we'll have to log back in.
Well,
Dave, why don't you log in on your computer?
This is so like magic when it works.
Yeah. What was Hilda's? Is she just transferring?
Try it again, try unmuting.
The primary resident covered over $8. So I just had her, I said, just process it and, bring the receipt back.
Can you hear us, Dave? Try unmuting.
Sometimes I'll make 2 deposits, one for this regular amount, one for the overage.
I can hear you.
I think you've got a real bad cell phone connection.
So the other
Okay.
thing is,
I can-
so we have lived here over 40 years and have never had a late payment. We are always on top of it. And, we just feel like this is a little kind of unfair. And the fact that we're not working anymore, that makes it rough, but we can bring you a check for the total taxes today.
Dave?
Let me come down in the back of your office. Because I can hear you.
Go out to Ashley's office and wear a mask and stand back.
I thought you had one for this
I did,
today.
it's in your email.
Oh,
I emailed it.
I thought you brought in a paper thing too.
No, I didn't print it, I just.
You gotta unmute you out there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Well, Mr. Radford,
Hi, how are you?
good.
I've heard the whole case. The tax was due June 20th is the problem. Here we are the end of August. And I think you've lived here long enough to know that you knew you owed the second half tax.
Yes, we're not disputing that by any means, but as I say,
But it's been all of July and all of August. It's been 2 months. And our hands are tied as far as the interest goes at 12%. The point that you make that there could be an error on our part is two different tax notices within 2 days, but I don't think that's enough to invalidate the interest and penalty, Roger. That's just my feeling.
They weren't 2 tax notices, they were assessment notices.
Well, yeah, 2 different assessment notices. It said right on, that's what they were.
And it says it's not a bill, which led us to believe we'd be getting a new bill.
But why did you pay the first half on time if you thought that the second half was in
Well,
dispute?
because these notices didn't come until June. We paid the first half in the first part of December last year.
Okay.
Well, and as I said, that happens every year. Every year they come in
And
June.
I'm just asking for a little,
Right.
help with this, and the fact that we're not working. We can bring you a check today for what the normal fee, the normal taxes are, but we're just asking for a waive of the interest and penalty.
Roger, I guess I don't know how many different valuation notices were sent out 2 days apart. I mean, was it just their property that the adjustment was made?
It's irrelevant, because it's an assessment note, not a tax bill. And the tax bill, for 40 years, apparently you're aware that you pay that in 2 different installments.
Well, of course we are, and we always have, and we've always been early. I think your records will show we've never had a default. You've never had to question us or come to us again.
Gentlemen, one of the other issues here is all of the conversations over the taxes and the fact that they were going to either lower them or stabilize them. And that's one of the main reasons that we thought there was going to be another bill come, because it's been on the news and all this, that they're trying to lessen the tax burden on us. And even my neighbor across, 2 of my neighbors have both said the same thing, that they were waiting for a bill or it never got the notice in the first place. So that's where we stand.
That conversation, has happened at the state level, but that's for next year's taxes when they come out. And
Yeah, and I don't know that we picked up on it was last year's, but why in the world would anybody send out assessment notice right when the taxes are due on the second half? And we made the assumption it was wrong.
you do that every year.
That was the case.
That's when the assessment notices come out. In
Well,
fact,
you guys work with us every day. We don't. That's the situation. We don't. This has never come up before.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we started getting all these notices, and I thought, well, they're gonna send out another bill, and of course, that was the wrong situation. But the ding is over $200. Like my wife said, we're both retired. We don't have a big chest of money to go throwing around for this stuff.
Well, part of, the interest keeps going on, and like Commissioner Radford pointed out, it's 2 months now, which has increased the amount of interest, before we're actually addressing it. And
We got a hold of you the minute we got this.
you what?
We got a hold of you people the minute we got this late notice. We didn't wait to call you.
And it says it's good through 8/21.
We can adjust that for when you come in. We'll adjust it when you come in to pay. As of the date you pay, that's not a problem. We do that to give people time to pay, so it doesn't create problems with the interest.
So, what's your pleasure, Dave?
Well, I don't think it's an error on the county's part to send out 2 different assessment notices. I know it could be interpreted as an error, but I don't think it's an error on our part. And I think we're obligated, to collect the penalty and interest. We've done it on, even when people have been in the hospital, we've had to do it. So on this case, just thinking that there's a future rebate coming and, that we shouldn't have to, I just don't feel like we have an opportunity to abate the penalty and interest because there's not an error on our part. It's not an error on the
Part
county.
of this interest and penalty goes to the city, or is can we go to the city and request a,
It gets a portion to all the taxing districts, city, the county, the schools, the cemeteries, fire districts, they all get a part of it.
And they rely on the county to collect the tax. We're the bad guys when it comes to collecting the tax, including the penalty and interest, so.
They rely on it because it's in statute required to do it, and that's what they put certain requirements on us. But anyway, is that your motion, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna second that. Probably, we're gonna deny this because we can't find error on part of the county. It's unfortunate, the news and how unclear, in fact, we're still trying to do the details of next year. We are participating in that tax reduction program. We'll actually get a check back, at least for the county portion. I think the city is participating, but the way their budget went up this year, I'm not sure how long that reduction is going to last. You might want to attend the city budget hearing. That's what affects the taxes.
when is that?
Our budget's going down, and our levy's going down. But I know the city has a hearing Thursday night that you can zoom in and make comments. I'm concerned.
That this Thursday?
It says Thursday. Go to the city website, find out when. Because that's, their levy is double ours, and so that's one of the biggest portions of your property taxes. And, they need to hear from the taxpayers. We hear it all the time. So.
Yeah, I feel bad for you.
It's
Just
not
for the
pleasant.
record, we really feel this is an unfair situation.
I'm sorry for that, but that's, we're required to administer the laws, basically. Penalty and interest set by statute. And that's what the deadlines are, so.
Okay,
That's
gentlemen,
great.
thank you for your time.
Thanks. Bye.